Welcome to the Cosmic Echoes. Good morning, Sue. Lovely to see you as always.
Well, I haven't seen you for a month, and what a month it's been.
It feels like years. I'm sorry.
I know. Well,
There were wars and I mean all kinds of stuff.
well, it was very strange because I went to Poland to visit Poland I did an interrail with a friend,
Yeah.
and we bombed off around Poland, and the world was mad, but moderately stable when we
Yeah.
left on the Eurostar. And by the time we came back 12 days later, whoa. So
Yeah.
yes, that was an interesting experience to be away from home as
Mm.
things started to really heat up.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, and
want,
it was very touch and go
yeah,
as to what could happen because
yeah,
it's still simmering
yeah.
away.
And I think it will come back in August. I do.
Yeah.
There's very Steve Judd and I actually did a video about this, and I'll put the link below
Yeah.
this video.
Yeah.
Um, there is a very strong kite being formed in August, which is
Yeah.
actually only next month.
Yeah.
And who knows, but things may kick off after
Yeah.
that again. So
Okay.
we'll just have to wait and see and just keep our feet firmly on the ground in the meantime.
Well, that's it. We we going into a new season in the Wisdom Seekers, and every season I kind of find or connect to certain things. And our element this season is Earth,
Yeah,
while our chakras is the Alta Major and the third eye and the crown, and
yeah.
it's kind of just bringing the top and the bottom kind of together as above so below becomes
It's
more and more yeah,
it's
something
a
to
time
live
of
by.
alchemy. It
That's
really
it.
is. And what does alchemy mean to you? And what is your philosopher's stone? What are you
Yeah.
being shown about how you relate to the cosmos, how you relate to the earth?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
constantly
because it's both.
heaven and earth. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this beautiful dance between Gaia and Sophia, with Sophia being the goddess of wisdom, while Gaia is this Earth, Mother Earth that
Mm.
isn't just holding us, we also holding her. There's this
Yeah.
reciprocal um exchange of energy between us because we are here for a reason.
Well,
Uh,
we're meant to be her guardian.
mhm.
And what we're not, we're being her persecutor.
Yeah,
That's
well, not all of us.
no, but we're
Yeah.
as a collective consciousness, we're not doing well as being a guardian of our sacred home.
No, no.
Mm.
And we need to, I mean, I have this thing about being barefoot. It's coming from Africa, I suppose. But to be barefoot on the earth it's, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I find a lot of strength in that,
Yeah.
just recharging.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? I think a lot of us are feeling really stripped back.
Mm,
Um, how much do we need anymore? I think there's
yeah.
a lot of that going on. I think there's a lot of, as you say, going barefoot and being
Mm,
utterly grateful in the
yeah.
moment. I'm looking at my garden at the moment, which is just full of, I mean, it's very dry,
Yeah.
but it's got lots of color in it. And nature is there to remind us of the beauty of being alive. Um, yes, it's interesting. It's been very interesting being in a different country as well, and how people are perceiving that in Poland's right. It borders with
Yeah.
Belarus and with Russia.
Yeah.
And they're very proud of their country. And I tell you, they won't give up without a fight. And it's
No,
Ukraine
and
on the
yeah,
other border.
yeah.
It's very interesting. It's the edge. It's right at the edge of Europe. Mm,
That's it. And there's a lot of I've got a friend from Belarus. He always has to go through Poland. There's been a lot of help, support that Poland has given to the
yeah,
Ukrainian people.
yeah,
Um, I mean, and at the end of the day, we all affected. Even when this Iran, when Iran reciprocated, or um, to the US bases in Qatar, suddenly flights to South Africa couldn't go home because a lot of them are driver. You know what I mean? So even those things affect us
Yeah.
all. It's especially if we're not at home, whatever home is.
What And I think this is the great thing at the moment, isn't it? Is to really ask yourself, where is my home? Now, I'm sure I've talked to him about him before. One of my first teachers was a chap called Stuart Wilde. I used to call him the New Age car dealer, the secondhand car dealer of the New Age movement. He was a naughty chap, but he was a seer. He knew, this is back in the 80s.
Mm.
And Stuart, I remember him standing up there and saying, when the great changes come, because they will, because he knew that this was coming this time,
Yeah.
said, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you get a call to go somewhere, go, because that's where you're meant to be when the changes happen. He was
Yeah.
really clear about that. That's where you will feel the safest. And if people are saying you're mad, don't go because it's, I don't know, Bogota or somewhere, go because that's where you're meant to go. I remember him saying it.
Yeah, and I feel that because we very much call to go home, and it doesn't really make sense always, you know.
Mm,
But it does make sense. There is no choice really. People
yeah,
know, and I think this is part of our evolution, maybe, you know, to be able to listen to our
yeah.
intuitive voices.
Well, I think it's really important, particularly now as Uranus is about to shift into Gemini, and this is air. And Uranus is our gateway, if you like, to the higher realms of understanding. So a
Mm,
lot of people around this time might be getting very insightful ideas or messages, or they go, where does that come from? Or a
yeah,
sentence might suddenly drop into their head, like
mm,
clarity. But Uranus is the planet of shocks and surprises. So
yeah,
I think we've got to understand that that's in the ballpark as well. But I
mm,
think that Uranus going into Gemini is going to be for the next 7 years. I mean, Uranus is one of the great 7 year cycle planets. So is Saturn, because
yeah.
every 7 years Saturn squares itself or opposes itself or comes back to itself. But Uranus is very much to do with the 7 years. It's in each sign for 7 years.
And
So
it's going in the 7th of
yeah,
July, 7
and it's
7.
going into the seventh.
Yeah.
And seven's a very interesting mystical number.
It is
So
indeed.
yeah, so I would say just be very vigilant about sudden inspirational thoughts or sudden visions or sudden clarities or sudden, I got to change. I can't go on like this. You have to listen to it. This is Uranus giving you a clue about where to go next or what to do next.
But then I also want to bring in Neptune is going retrograde today,
Yes.
which is a dream. So
Yes.
it's kind of distinguishing between the inner voice and the dream, maybe.
Yes. Well, again, it is. I mean, Neptune and Saturn, when they moved into Aries, there's definitely been a massive shift in,
Yeah.
the Aries energy, the energy of war. There
Mm,
really has. And nobody quite knows what's going on behind the scenes. That's very Neptunian.
yeah.
Neptune going retrograde, don't forget it's a generational planet. It isn't what we call a personal planet.
Yeah.
There is this feeling of delusions and illusions,
Yeah.
the lies.
Yeah.
Now, Uranus going into Gemini,
Yeah.
that for me is fast talking. Lots of fantastic ideas, but are they true? Is this huge exaggeration? Are we going to be able to trust what's been written in the newspapers, or not that they exist anymore, but what
Yeah.
we watch and see online? There's going to be an awful lot of that going on.
And I'm
There is
seeing,
already.
experiencing that already a lot. I mean, you research something and you have an AI
Yeah,
bit coming
yeah,
up,
yeah.
which isn't always right. I'm sorry to
No,
say, but you have to double check and triple check and make sure that what you because we've started to digest information too quickly because there's too much. And in that process, we're not fact checking ourselves, you know. Um, and yeah,
yeah,
not even to rely on fact checkers.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
tricky.
think I think the other thing interesting about Uranus, about Neptune going, Neptune is mysterious. It's
Mm,
not straightforward.
mm,
So, you know, and also Saturn's going to be going retrograde as well. So, and then Mercury goes retrograde this month, and then Chiron goes retrograde at the end of the month. So there is something going on here about revisiting visions or ideas, or have you been swept away by something that isn't quite there? You've gone up an avenue that's turned into a cul-de-sac.
mm,
And maybe, this retrograde motion is bringing us back into, hang on a minute, let's just stop, because we
mm,
need to really learn to stop as Uranus makes this massive shift into air from Earth. And it hasn't been happy in Earth. It
mm,
really hasn't. And I'm wondering over the next few days, as it makes this big shift from Earth to air, which it is in the process. It's 29 degrees at the moment. That's
mm,
what we call the anoretic, the very, very intense degree, the last degree of the zodiac.
mm.
I mean, I know we've had bombs being lobbed, but we were expecting
Yeah,
that. And I wonder, because it's Earth, that the last hurrah, well, for now, because Uranus does go back into Taurus for a bit, actually next year. So
that's right. Yeah,
for a couple of months before it
yeah.
finally settles again. So we're going to have a taster, but I wonder if there's going to be some kind um of I don't know, a volcano or an
Mm,
eruption or something to do with Earth
yeah,
as it moves in the next few days. And I know I'm not the only person talking like this.
yeah,
And I'm really hoping that it isn't.
yeah. Or that it happens in a way that, I mean, this is the movement of the earth, though, isn't it? It is part of um, that it happens so that there is no
Yeah.
extreme damage or whatever that is. But yeah,
We'll just have to wait and see how
tricky.
it but there's a
Yeah,
very interesting woman, and I was listening to Dan Waits on the World Astrology Report, which I
yeah,
think is absolutely excellent.
yeah.
He was talking, I've heard about this woman. I don't know her name, so I do apologize to her, but I think she's Japanese, and she's being almost heralded as the new Edgar Cayce.
Mm.
And she predicted a lot, that the last tsunami.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she did, which happened in Japan with that,
Yeah,
yeah. And she's certainly predicting something going to be happening over the next few days. Let's see. I mean, the big thing is to keep stable, to keep sensible,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
and be
Keep
watchful.
grounded.
Keep grounded and be
Yeah.
watchful. Yeah.
And centered, you know, it's come up for me quite a lot, this kind of grounded and centeredness. It's centered like in the heart to kind of bring this top and bottom together and
Yes.
um, really embody it a bit.
And I think, it's very easy, isn't it, when we're living in such unpredictable times, which we are, to be very fearful of the future,
Mm,
and then live with that anxiety of, oh my God, what's going to happen? And the adrenaline levels just
yeah.
zoom up. And I'd say to anyone who's feeling like that, really take some time to get, some NLP techniques or tapping techniques to bring
Mm.
the effect down, because living with adrenaline, it really affects your health and welfare.
Yeah, that constant cortisol and, drive. So
Yeah. And it's
I,
imagined fear. It hasn't
yeah,
actually happened.
no, it's not,
It's
yeah,
important to understand that.
yeah. So I
Mm.
made a little thing. It's
Oh,
a
look
cap
at that.
copy, yes, as the painting behind, so that'll cover.
Yeah.
And it's got every day. It's just a gap really. So it's kind of where the moon is with a little quote, and then I have a mantra that's, you know, grounding and a little ritual kind of, step, deep outside, and then a astrological event um that's happening, like this nature going retrograde or the moon, what that means for us. So there's space to draw and write and whatever. So I'm practicing with that or playing with that, which is quite fun.
Where can people get a copy of that?
Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
Yeah, I'll
So
pop a
again, we
link
put the
in.
link down for
Yeah,
ancestor P. So
yeah.
anything like that, a beautiful journal like this, which has
Mm,
got prompts in it, is really helpful to write down what you're feeling in the moment. And
yeah.
you can look back and think, do you know, I felt like that, but actually
Mm,
that didn't happen. So, so you can really sort of take a look and reflection on
mm,
how your mood is.
yeah.
And the other thing I would say is be really careful about influencers.
Hmm.
I'm sure they're doing a wonderful job, but they are influencers. There's a
Yeah,
reason why they're called influencers.
yeah,
And I would just say to everyone is don't get swept up in other people's desires to do whatever they do because they've got an agenda running and it might not actually serve you.
yeah,
Just be really careful, and
yeah,
especially around, there's a lot at the moment about weight lossing drugs and different ways of, I don't know, looking younger or whatever it is. Just
yeah.
just really go into your heart, sit underneath a tree and just connect with that, and also with the alchemy of the cosmos.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot for me within silence and space,
Yes.
to have spaces to express yourself, whether it's drawing or doodling or writing or
Mm.
throwing paint at a wall or whatever it is, We were having a lot of conversations this week around the maybe it's a feminine thing, I don't know, but to express rage, to express
Oh, really good
yourself,
answer. Yeah.
to not experience rage as a thing that is constrictive. Yeah. So
As long
expression.
as you do it really constructively, a pillow, a plastic bat, shut the door, warn people that you're going to do that. They don't
Yeah.
want any, and then smack the hell out of it. Or
Mm.
I scream in the car when I'm
Yeah.
feeling really pent up. I just go for it. Nobody can hear me. But
Yeah.
there is it is important to get that out
Mm.
in
Yeah,
any,
there's the energy
yeah,
that can build up and really
yeah.
be harmful in our whole system that is the human body, really, psyche even.
Yeah, and you project it onto somebody else because if your rage decides that they're wrong.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
all they're doing is them. It might not be, what you want to do, but it isn't about being.
Yeah.
So just be really, with Uranus
Mm.
shifting this air, there's going to be a lot of, and it's interesting, there's a lot of anger, and
Mm.
how the people have been fighting in airports in Spain.
Oh, I've missed that.
And there's been airliners shutting down because of I think it's the French air control have gone on strike. So
Mm.
there's a lot of frustration around air things,
Okay.
like Uranus
Yeah.
flying. Just be careful.
Mm. Yeah.
Lot of, if you start smelling, oh, this doesn't, this is getting a bit dodgy, back away. Just bring
Yeah.
the light in.
Mm.
Put your hand on your heart, acknowledge that you're frightened, that this isn't okay, and
Mm.
back away. You don't have to
Yeah.
engage with it.
Well, exactly. And listen, yeah, connect because we all have the wisdom and
Yeah,
there isn't anything we need from outside. It is just to
yeah,
kind of be able to
yeah.
trust and to listen to the inside.
Well, I think it's really helpful that I've got my little map here on the full moon is in Capricorn on the
Yeah.
10th.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Capricorn because it's sensible. It might not be the most exciting sign of all, but it wants to get things done. And I think that's really cool and they're very achievement orientated, but they're kind of right. Let's plan. Let's just
Yeah.
get sensible here. Let's cut away the dross and what really matters.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. I know. We'll have a plan and we'll go to there.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be really, really helpful. And
Mm.
actually, what's interesting as well is Mars is in Virgo, and it's
Mm.
making so it's making a trine with the moon in Capricorn, and this is archetypal major planner.
Yeah.
Mars in Virgo, oh, it likes a plan, to puts a plan in action. And sometimes we need a plan to feel safe.
Yeah.
Because when we're free floating, it's not, you can feel very unsafe. But when
Yeah.
you've got a plan, A, B, C, D, that can really be helpful. Yeah.
Well, it's the container, isn't it? Once we have a container, we can be free within that,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
because we often use it as a safety point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The big thing is don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
And this is what this new the full moon is all about. It's
Mm.
um Earth, a lovely a Capricorn moon, and then this lovely Mars in Virgo. It's a
Mm.
strategy moon. It really is, and it also means that the sun is in Cancer. So
Yeah.
we've got the parent axis playing out,
Yeah.
which is always interesting. So it
Yeah.
could be that parental things come up, or you're beginning to understand how you want to take responsibility, or are you always in a position of over nurturing? Are you
Yeah.
giving your power away all the time by
Mm.
actually finding it really difficult to leave home? So,
Mm.
the Capricorn is inviting you to take responsibility for yourself. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. So,
Yeah.
and it's ruled by Saturn. So, and of course, Saturn is in Aries, going it's going to go retrograde shortly,
Yeah.
conjunct Neptune. So there is a revisitation here
Mm.
about responsibility and what that means to you.
Yeah.
So that's really that's really really important. What is
Mm.
your reality? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got on the we've got on the 18th, Mercury goes retrograde.
Mm.
So people go hysterical over retrograde Mercury. It's in Leo. So I don't personally, but
Yeah.
I'm aware. Um,
Yeah.
but it's not about letting, giving your power away to the planets going retrograde, just being about aware of it, really.
Mm.
So it's just about, I would say, checking in with how you're making sense of what happens. Leo is very self-expressive.
Yeah.
um, Mercury in Leo wants to express itself. It's the planet of communication. So just be really aware of, be as you were talking about painting, it's a wonderful time to start
Mm.
painting or creating something or being self-expressive, but it's very reflective.
Yeah.
So it's a process, as inner process rather than an external process.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a wonderful time just to think, how do I, especially when Mercury comes out of retrograde, which is August the 11th, it's
Mm.
sort of just paying attention about rethinking, reviewing, and just being present with your
Mm.
own sense of self-expression, your own sense of being in the world and wanting to shine your light. Maybe this is a time to think, how do I want to shine my light?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the July the 22nd, so we then enter this wonderful time of Leo, the sun enters Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lovely, well, it's just the glory of summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
The harvest is coming, and we
Mm.
are harvesting. We are learning how to harvest at the moment. So I
Mm.
think that's really interesting. And then that leads into the new moon. Let me just get my chart up here of the new moon. The new moon, which is in Leo. Yes, it is in Leo, which is a beautiful, beautiful, energetic celebration of this time of Leo.
Mm.
And it is right smack opposite Pluto. So there is a very strong tension here.
Yeah.
Pluto in Aquarius, the new moon in Leo. New moon is new beginnings, obviously.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also very much what do you not, to begin something new, what do you need to pay attention to let go of
Mm.
so that this new thing can happen?
Yeah.
This is Pluto, the people,
Yeah.
Aquarius, opposite Leo, the power.
Yeah. The lion, yeah.
And it's sitting right on, I think I'm right in saying it's sitting right on Trump's Mars, on his ascendant, this new
Okay.
moon. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. I'm very interested, especially with Mercury retrograde in
Yeah.
Leo. So I would imagine, we'll have to see, it's only themes, that the
Mm.
people may start really voicing their, um, yeah, challenging what's
Yeah.
going on.
Which they've already started a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might really kick off
Yeah.
around the new moon, July the 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's on the new moon's on the 24th of July.
Yeah.
Maybe quite a build up for this, especially with Uranus going into uh, 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 Gemini.
Yeah. And
So
Neptune would still be retrograde, I think, until
yeah,
December. So there's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
that in play.
yeah.
Saturn, it's doing its thing.
Saturn will
Everything.
like, yeah, Saturn's already by the time of
New
the
moon.
new moon, it's retrograde
Yeah.
alongside uh Neptune.
Neptune. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting times. But again,
Mm.
you've got to decide, you've got to listen to your body. If things feel really fraught, stop.
Mm.
Stop. If you're walking down a street or you find yourself caught up in a crowd that's getting a bit boisterous, is this right for you?
Mm.
Just take responsibility, draw on the full moon Capricornic energy.
Yeah.
Is this right for you to take
Yeah.
responsibility for yourself so that you don't become the victim to it? But I think I'm yeah, I'm going to predict that there's going to be a lot of, yeah, increased disillusion and anger but of the people against
Yeah.
power structures. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. Which is part of what we've been talking about since last year,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
It is this things have to break down for us to
yeah,
come through patriarchal systems not working anymore, all that stuff. But I also feel there's a lot more we need to embody our humanness, you know, be us creative. Don't
yeah,
rely on AI. Use AI as a tool. It's a wonderful tool. There's a
yeah.
lot that
Oh God,
I
yeah,
do with it. It's amazing. But don't give your power away to any system,
yeah.
whether it's, yeah.
And the other thing is, a lot of people go away on holiday at this time of year,
Mm,
obviously.
yeah.
Just be really mindful again about where you choose to go. It's not great to go to Crete at the moment.
Yeah.
Izmir is not having a good time with the fires.
Yeah.
So just be aware that the climate change is upon us.
Mm,
Whatever you want to call it, the
yeah.
great changes. The climate
Yeah.
is changing. And, it isn't just as, oh, I'm going to get on a plane and go do a flying flop. It isn't like that anymore.
No.
So just be very conscious about, again, where you feel you need to go
Yeah.
rather than just habitually getting on a plane because that's where you always go.
Yeah.
So just be mindful.
Yeah. It's all about awareness at the end of the
Yeah,
day. And yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking if there's anything. Yes. A Leo is about being brave. a
Yeah.
courageous. It's a wonderful, it's the heart. It
Mm,
wants to protect as well. But with Pluto opposite, I am,
mm.
I do think there's going to be stuff going on. So again, if you are in a very challenging relationship, please just be extra vigilant, or see if you can find a safe place, because things could get very tense between couples as well.
Yeah.
It's, as above, so below,
Yeah.
because it'll be
Yeah.
playing out the world, it'll be playing out um, in our own matrix.
Yeah.
Pluto is, it's
Yeah.
dodgy stuff opposite the new
But yeah, it's the planet of death and rebirth, isn't it? So it's quite intense.
power. It's power
Power.
issues. This is
Okay.
all about power. It's the
Mm,
sun, power, Pluto,
mm,
power, and they're right
mm.
opposite each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Father stuff could come up as well.
Yeah.
Anything to do with authority, power, anything like that, or people having power over you and you going, I'm done.
Mm,
Just be vigilant and be very careful about how you proceed with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and move through it.
Yeah.
Don't block it. Don't, try and understand and realize what's going on above as well.
Yeah. But I
In
think the big thing about the full moon in Capricorn is you could start to make a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not planning stuff.
Yeah.
One, two, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, goal. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And the full moon is always, well, my doors are open to the wisdom seekers until the full moon. So from the new moon until the full moon.
Right.
And I've built a nice little container for for no rules and no lines and no borders, but within this container of mastery is the theme this season.
Lovely.
But mastery in a not perfection kind of way, in a process, in a you're already it to
Yes.
experience it. So
Fantastic. And again, we'll put the link below this video.
yeah,
Just to say, as you're talking about the what you're doing, just to say that I've the Shift Network invited me to run a 7-week course
yeah,
on astrology and mortality, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. So I had a big powwow with them last night,
yeah,
and we're really on it. So this
yeah,
is going to, the whole point of this is about how can we use astrology to reduce our fear of death and the unknown. So
mm,
it's going to be launched on the 9th of September, and the
yeah.
classes start at the end of September. So I'll be
Yeah.
keeping banging on about this
No, please do.
every
And I
time
think
we
it's
meet.
it's starting on the 30th of September. I think I saw somewhere the
That,
live classes, and it's
that's the
once
live
a week.
classes.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
it's going to be
Sign
launched
up. Yeah,
on the 9th for the sign up.
very
Yeah.
exciting. So I know what you'll be doing this summer.
There's a lot of work
Yeah,
involved, but it's really good fun. But
yeah,
and I think for anyone is, if you can find a project at the moment that again, Capricorn project
mm.
that you really can get your teeth into, or start a course that you just really want to do. Being engaged with something that you love or you want to learn about is incredibly helpful when the world's in chaos. It organizes
Yeah,
the mind.
yeah. And to move away from this concept of perfection,
Yes,
just do it. It
exactly.
doesn't. Yeah, it is an expression. Um, art is perfect in expression.
Yes.
And art isn't just painting or writing, or it's whatever you decide is your module of expression.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything else that we need to speak about? I don't think there is there, this time?
Yeah, I think we can carry on for a while, but this is it. We are
Yeah.
well, we looking forward to see how things unfold and how we can hold ourselves, center ourselves, um, together,
Yeah.
as a tribe of people that are aware and interested and conscious of our space within the bigger picture. Um,
Yeah. And I think the other thing is to be just really conscious of is that you're having a human experience.
yeah.
I think that's really, it's always been really helpful for
Yeah.
me. And that you're part of the human condition because you
Mm,
are.
yeah.
You're also very attuned to the zeitgeist, which you
Mm,
are, but you're having your very own personal experience.
mm,
And for me, when you really address the drama of life and actually don't need to do dramas,
mm,
that's very helpful as well. So just
yeah.
be, if your life is full of drama or you're caught up in the persecutor rescuer um,
Thing.
triangle, yeah, just be really aware of that and you catch yourself,
Mm,
and the growth happens is when you step out of that triangle. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the persecutor rescue victim triangle,
That's it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not my fault, it's everyone else's.
Yeah.
Once you start to step out of that, that's
Mm,
incredibly helpful. And again, the sensible Capricorn can help you do that.
yeah.
Plan, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. See my fly.
Mm.
He's agreeing. Thank you, Sue.
Okay.
May may it be a good month for everyone, and we will chat
Yeah.
again next month.
Yeah, yeah, and see what happens. I love these monthly meetings because we don't know.
We don't know.
Kind of know a theme, but whether it's
Yeah,
played out or not, we don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I just want to say to everyone watching, if you want a really good astrological understanding of what's happening, please do listen to World Report, Dan Waite's World Report.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
outstanding.
yeah. It's very good. And you'll pop the link in as well.
I will, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. See you next month.
And bless you all on your journeys during this month.
Exactly.